Hey, what is going on, SMT Nation? It is your boy, the SMT. Today's video for you, Verizon Wireless News. Verizon is finding ways to improve their spectrum position in ways that are, I guess we'll call them untraditional, a bit untraditional. Typically, carriers, what they do is they go to spectrum auctions with lots of money and they buy spectrum licenses. Then they operate those licenses to improve their network experience for their customers. Now, the expectation is that the Big Red carrier will be going in big on 3.5 gigahertz CBRS spectrum. We won't have that information probably for several weeks yet to come. The auction, is something that we just expect them to go big on. Now, the 3.7 gigahertz C-band spectrum will also be something that they will also go big on. Will probably be more of a difference maker. So, in referencing those spectrum auctions, you move away from the traditional auction methodology. Another way that carriers like Verizon can improve their spectrum position is through secondary markets, which is essentially purchasing from companies that own the licenses. So they're often smaller or regional carriers, or sometimes even licensing firms. Quietly in 2020, Verizon has already made some purchases and lease deals from companies like Chat Mobility and Blue Wireless. There are likely, about a dozen or so more similar transactions, including a spectrum swap with AT&T. Now, these are just not very public. Most people just don't pay attention, and they don't make any type of headlines because they are smaller moves. So some of the spectrum acquisitions that we've seen for Verizon this year include PCS and AWS transactions, affecting states like New York, North Dakota, Colorado, Missouri, Utah, Minnesota, Wyoming, Washington State, Iowa, Virginia, Indiana, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Louisiana, Vermont, and Maryland. So some interesting states where they're addressing certain issues. Now, AWS-wise, these are blocks 1 and 3. The number of POPs covered in these acquired licenses is important to know, and they do exceed 126 million POPs. These transactions will increase capacity for a lot of people in these areas and bring new capacity in some markets while bolstering capacity in others. It's also been confirmed that Verizon Wireless has also had a handful of transactions in millimeter wave licensing. Now, in terms of the sub-6 gigahertz spectrum position, the new T-Mobile offers the most spectrum licenses. They're at around 319 gigahertz of spectrum. 319 megahertz of national spectrum. AT&T comes in second at 166, Verizon at 116, and Dish at 94. So that's kind of the hierarchy of who holds the most spectrum. Makes sense that the new T-Mobile does have the most. They just consumed Sprint, and Sprint did have a lot. Now, in terms of the companies involved in these transactions with Verizon, Strata Networks, Michael Tracy, Orion Wireless, TX10 licenses, Central Louisiana, Spotlight Media, Grand River Area, and Reservation Telephone. The source here is AllNet Insights and Analytics. I will put a link in the description for that. Just to kind of run through what Verizon did. February 14th, they acquired 28 gigahertz millimeter wave spectrum assets in New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. On March 4th, they also got some millimeter wave 28 gigahertz in Florida, AWS-3 in Minnesota, Virginia, Iowa, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Washington State. April 3rd, they were able to get some licenses in Louisiana and Texas. April 17th, new leases with Sprint, actually, in Washington State. April 24th, they were able to get some licenses in the PCS spectrum assets, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York, and Indiana. I think they got some AWS in Louisiana as well. May 1st, some AWS spectrum in Missouri. May 8th, PCS in New York, Indiana, Washington, and Missouri. AWS in Washington and Oregon. And then June 3rd, PCS in Colorado, AWS in Wyoming. So these are all market-to-market basis. Check the link in the description for the listings for specific markets. And it looks like these people in these specific places in these markets will get these upgrades. Now, it's not statewide. Like I said, it's market to market. So you'll have to look at those cities. CBRS is going to be county-based. C-band is going to be mostly a national situation. These acquisitions and leases, being market to market means that they are specifically targeting certain places where I think Verizon is having congestion issues, and it should help those customers pretty much instantly as soon as they're able to get all of these licenses operating. I would not be surprised if all of these LTE upgrades come to the markets within this calendar year. In most cases, they're probably markets where Verizon already has the hardware up on tower sites. Licenses just have to be provisioned for use on those tower sites. And that's pretty much it. Verizon doing a great job to deal with their congestion issues. I know they have it. Their spectrum position is tough right now. That will likely change in the future, but for now, they are remedying issues in certain markets. Check out those cities. Let me know in the comment section if you are in those markets, and let me know if you've started to see these upgrades. I'd be interested to see what you guys are witnessing in your real world experience when you're using those services. So comment down below. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation, let your voice be heard. I want to give a special shout out to Josh, Michael, John, Ron, and Sivak. I want to thank you guys for your recent donations to the SMT YouTube channel, whether it's through PayPal or Venmo or however you donated. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for supporting the SMT YouTube channel. There's links in the description box for ways that you can donate if you so choose to do so. Thank you so much in advance for that. Thank you all for taking this opportunity to watch my video. If you could do me a solid, please do like this video, share it to all of your favorite socials. If you are new to the channel and you want to become a part of the SMT Nation, hit that subscribe button and activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. And here are some other links in the description box for all the things happening with the SMT community. We've got the SMT Patreon page link. We have the @sneedtech Twitter handle where we also do Periscope Lives. And then here are some other videos for you to check out if you want to see some other items from the SMT YouTube channel. You're just not ready to leave just yet. Thank you in advance for doing so. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'm the SMT, and we will catch you all on the next video. Peace.